share because it was a very confusing time for me,
Sure.
and especially that from my mother's side, her relatives are a bit conservative, so I kind of felt guilty for having feelings toward men. Especially growing up, I was like 13 or 14. Like I would text a guy, and then I would feel very, very guilty about it. And
Sure.
especially when it comes to the religion side of it, But
Sure.
when I hit 20, I was like, why am I torturing myself? I just chose to be happy, and I just accepted my sexuality. That I'm into men, and there's no way for me to be into women. And that's who I am.
Was that just all of a sudden an epiphany for you?
I think it was just a decision that
Okay.
in order for me to move on and to be happy with myself and my life, I just have to accept and just move on. And since then, I never looked back, to be honest.
I like that. It was simply a decision for you
Yeah.
after many years of
And
struggle, I'm sure.
exactly. And, there are some segments in the society that will kind of like put me to shame if they knew that I was gay, or somebody from my work, or somebody from my high school friends. They say, "Oh, like Khalid is gay now. Like, is he never gonna get married?" But I'm very, very proud of myself, and I never let this negativity into my life.
I like that. You just keep being you, and you are very uplifting. And many friends, both gay as well as heterosexual, in your life.
Yeah, I try to keep a balance. I mean, homosexuality is just a part of me. It's not everything.
I
You
like
know,
that. That is a very good point that you make.
exactly. And I don't mind to hang out with all sorts of people. I don't have to prove that I'm a homosexual to everybody who I meet or to the rest of my life. I made to that point when I was 20, and I just moved on. It's just part of me now. I think my life is, there's a lot of parts of me. Like I like art, I like music, and all of that. It does not have to be just my sexuality.
Thank you for that. I mean, like, I'm sitting here listening to you and I'm realizing I can't tell you the last time I had a conversation about me being heterosexual. So, why did we need to
Yeah.
discuss the homosexuality? Except for the fact you've had to fight for your rights, of course. I don't want to minimize that.
Mm,
Just, or to be accepted. And it's definitely, depending on where you live, a battle. And I can tell you, and I know you've been there in London, it is very open, and it's almost strange not to be there.
yeah, exactly. I hear about like London or Berlin or
Yes.
somewhere in Europe that is very, very acceptable. And for me, it's kind of like an invitation, like to just go there and just like buy a house and live there. But you know me, I'm a very proud Bahraini, and
You
I don't
are?
mind living. Yeah, I don't mind living here, and even if there are some restrictions on being a homosexual, even though it's legal, but you're not protected in the workplace, or you're not protected,
Uh,
socially or something,
that's a good
But
point.
it's good to be at your home country and fight for your right until the work is done. You know what I mean?
Well, even better, being able, you got a pretty viable business and sharing your pride with other people who, about the island. For those who don't know, Bahrain is a kingdom and a monarchy, I
Yes,
believe.
it is a monarchy.
And that is a foreign concept that is quite amazing to be a part of.
Hmm. I mean, a monarchy, it's viewed negatively in the West. So, like, how come you have a king that you can never change? And
Well, we're lucky. I
you know,
say
I
we. The kingdom is amazing, and they're good to people.
yeah, like I give the king around like 70% approval. And there's no homelessness in Bahrain,
At
and
all.
everybody's well off. It's a wealthy country, and we cannot really complain. Even though we cannot change who would rule us, I think we're on a good place. So,
Yes.
I don't think there's room for complaints. There's room for improvement, though.
Always. It's the human
Yes.
condition, I think. But I really love the fact that, and I know I'm seeing it through expat eyes, okay? But,
Yeah.
and sorry to switch over. I mean, I want to go back to the other topic as well. I think they intermix. But the holidays, if it was my holiday, it was celebrated. If it's a Bahraini holiday, an Arabic holiday, it was celebrated. I love that. It was so
Yeah.
embraced.
Yeah, Bahrain is it's kind of like a bot with all cultures. So we got Indians, we got Pakistanis, we got Americans, we got the British.
Bengali.
There are more expats than the locals here.
Yes. What is it? 70% expats? Filipinos?
So it's 49% Bahraini and 53% expats.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And I know the pandemic's changed that a lot. People have left because things, Bahrain has been studied for their response to the pandemic, and you guys are fully open and functioning again before the rest of the world.
Yeah, so I don't know if you were here. They introduced the green light and the red light and the yellow light.
Oh, yes.
It kind of like the traffic light colors. So, so for each color, it gives us like some sort of restrictions depending on the number of cases that we would have each day. So within a week, if it's the number of cases below 100. Everybody is without mask outside now, and everybody can go to the cinema.
What?
Yeah, Bahrain is free now, so
no fair. I saw you guys through the pandemic, and then I left. Doggone it.
Yeah, yeah, and there's unlimited seating in bars and clubs and restaurants now, so everybody feels a bit relaxed now, and 70% to 80% of the population are fully vaccinated. So
wow.
That's a great achievement.
It is, and as you know, there are places in this world where there are no masks, but it definitely isn't safe as far as the virus goes. So to make it clear, Bahrain, there's no mask, but the virus numbers are low, and the vaccination is high, and it's not completely safe, but a lot more safe. I felt safe there. I didn't realize how safe I felt until I went other places.
Yeah, I tell when I taught English in Latin America, I told my students, if you're a woman walking at 4 a.m. in the morning in the street of Bahrain, there's nothing's going to happen to you. And people would literally tell you to just go home, and they will offer you a ride back home if you're just walking on foot.
Okay, so my first year, I told you I got there in November 2016.
Yeah.
Well, on New Year's Eve, I had gone out, and as typical for Bahrain, especially on New Year's Eve, I parked my car in the parking lot where I was at. It was at Big Texas, and the car was blocked in with everybody parking. And so when I left for the night, I couldn't get back. So I just walked back to my flat, and I'm thinking, am I crazy? It's New Year's Eve. What's going to happen at 1 o'clock in the morning? And literally walking back, everybody driving by honking and saying, hello, Mom. Hello. How are you? That was just the nicest thing. I believe the crime rate, at least last I checked, was the same as the Asian countries like Korea and Okinawa. Very low crime rate.
Yeah. We have a very secure country. Well, I have to thank the U.S. Navy as well for keeping that security.
Oh, noted.
Because you guys, like protect us from foreign invasion and protect us from Iran especially. So
Sure.
yeah, I fully I salute you guys and I thank you.
Well, thank you for that. I wish I could take credit for that, but I love being a part of it. And here in South Korea, I'm now working on an army base. It's been quite a difference. Also, a key place for the military to be, both here as well as Bahrain, separate parts of the world, but very key. And I think both countries embrace and receive us very well, very, very well.
Yeah, that is for sure.
Makes a difference. So, is there anything you would be comfortable with talking about as far as your lifestyle living in Bahrain, Middle East, and like when you go out, you have a group of friends. Are there any friends that you find don't feel as accepted, maybe within their family, within their culture, who struggle a little more than you do at this point?
I would say it's for transgenders. For them, it's kind of difficult to come as they are because it's not like, all right, so I'm a gay man in the Middle East and I live in Bahrain. I mean, I can't just pretend sometimes to not to be in awkward situations or something that I'm straight sometimes, and because I don't want to deal with awkward situations, and I just want to go on with my day. But for transgender, it's a bit difficult because
transgender, the ones that. Okay, so describe that for those who don't know necessarily what that is.
So basically, a guy who has tendencies to act and feels, and he feels like a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Not basically a drag queen. A drag queen is just there for entertainment.
Completely
but
different.
Transgender is completely different. It's like where you feel and act as a woman, and basically, you don't feel like you feel like you're stuck in the wrong body.
Yes.
And that is really, really hard for them to be accepted and to for the society to respect them. So I there's a lot of work to be done in that matter. And and I'm a great supporter. So hopefully, I'll just supporting them and everything. And there's a lot to do regarding that, but hopefully if everybody can agree on one thing, we can just support them and move on.
Well, I wish that people were that open. Often not the case, but so what are the different, I don't know what to say, categories? Okay, so you've got homosexual, you've got transgender. I don't mean across the board. I mean that you are familiar with there in Bahrain. You already said transgender has the biggest struggle that you can tell.
Yes, yeah.
With their families. Are there any others? Like I know there's what is it called? Pansexual.
Yeah, there is. I mean, there are different sexuality, but I will tell you about the ones who got it the most challenging.
Yes.
And for women, especially being lesbians, they are more forced into marriage than guys, than gay guys.
It, quote unquote.
Yes, because women to be a woman in Bahrain is not as challenging as other Arabic countries such as Saudi Arabia or Afghanistan. Here it's a bit liberal and all of that, but as going back again to the social pressure, especially if her parents are a bit conservative, and they probably don't know that she's a lesbian, so it's a bit hard for them, and it's not usually always a happy ending where she ends up with a woman and she lives alone. She lives alone with her and build a relationship with her. And I would say 80% of the time she will have to marry a man, and that's it.
You know, as